Hello, just here with a quick guide video for a ninja class setup, also with the Storm King's Ravager that you can acquire through the Mythic Storm King fight. Um, it's just a quick setup and help guide to anybody that prefers playing with ninja classes that also has the Storm King's Ravager that, I don't know, maybe something you might want to play around with, try a new class and see how you like it. It's something that I've personally been using for the last couple of days, and for me, it's a lot of fun. It's a very good self-sustained, moderate to high damage output class, especially with a squad. With its solo, it still is very viable if you're just playing missions solo for certain missions, but with the extra boosts that you get from your teammates, it's an incredible build. It's a lot of fun. You can stay in mobs and keep on fighting, and you won't be going down and having to worry about getting help from your teammates to be revived. The commander perk, or the commander hero that we'll be using, is Swordmaster Ken, and he has Legendary Blade for his perk. And Legendary Blade for the commander perk during Shadow Stance increases sword damage by 75%, and that's going to increase your base sword damage. So what the base sword damage is for the Ravager will be increased by 75%, and we'll check the perks on the weapon right after we get through the loadout. And he's got Shadow Stance, which is what we'll be concentrating on for our team perk. For Endless Shadow. After eliminating one enemy with melee weapons, enter Shadow Stance for 4 seconds. Shadow Stance increases armor by 60 and movement speed by 15%, which is going to give us a little bit extra mobility and defense against the mobs that will be for sure attacking us. For the team perk, we'll be using Endless Shadow. Endless Shadow for each ninja with 3 or more stars increases Shadow Stance duration by 4 seconds, and we want to be staying in Shadow Stance as much as possible to continue to get that 75% extra damage out of Swordmaster Ken, so that we don't have to build our sword around damage, so we can save those perks for more useful and helpful perks. And I have 3 ninjas currently in there, so I will have 12 extra seconds in Shadow Stance. Some people say that it's not useful, that Shadow Stance even for the duration, because I think it's 4 seconds already. So if you don't use Endless Shadow, it's a 4-second duration for Shadow Stance, which it's okay to not run Endless Shadow and run something else for a team perk, but for me, I like to stay in Shadow Stance for as long as possible, just because if you do so happen to be fighting a grouping and you back off for a second, maybe because you're taking damage, too much damage, you'll still be able to stay in Shadow Stance and have that consistent 75% extra damage, whereas if you are in a situation and you have to back out to maybe get your health back up, whatever, you're going to lose Shadow Stance, and then that next enemy that you're going to hit to get back into it, maybe you're going to take a bunch more damage, and that might be the difference between you staying alive and you getting knocked. So the support that we'll be using is Saurian Hide for the first one, and she's going to make it so that we stay alive just a little bit longer inside large groupings. She's going to give us an extra 33 armor. We're going to use Mermonster Ken from the depths, increases melee damage by 44% based on percentage of your missing health. So the more health that we lose, the more damage we're going to do. For situations where our health is going down a lot, and we can actually get more damage out of him, so that we can kill things faster to get our health up to stay alive longer. We'll be using Anatomy Lessons from Whiteout Fiona. Increases critical rating of swords, axes, and scythes by 15. We want to keep our crit rating up as high as possible at all times while not using Whiteout Fiona in our main. We'll be using Assassination from Blue Street Ken. Dealing melee weapon damage grants 1 stack of Assassination up to 5 stacks. Assassination lasts 5 seconds and increases melee weapon damage by 4.5%. So after those 5 hits that we get while we're in mobs fighting, our damage will actually go up to 22.5%, which is nice. It's good to have that extra damage, so we don't have to build it into our sword. And the last hero that we'll be using in our support is Monster Smash from Arlene. Increases life leech with melee attack and going constructor by up to 15% based on the percentage of your missing health. So for the basic attacks, if we are up there fighting up and close, every attack that we're doing is going to be giving us some health before we have to jump out, back off, and use our heavy attack to fully get our health back to the top, which I will show you as soon as we get into a mission. The gadgets, we're just going to be running banner and stationary hover turret. I'm not really going to be using either of those anyways. But for the gadgets, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Most people will be using adrenaline and stationary hover turrets. Just for the extra health, if you run into a situation, you can boost your health up real quick to get back into the fight. But with this class build, adrenaline is more than likely going to be unnecessary. You can use something that's going to benefit your team a little bit more, like banner, to help give your structures more health when needed, and also give you guys a revive point if you guys all do end up going down. And stationary hover turret is just a good solid gadget to have, period, to help you fight while you have the groupings around you, to take out some of the extra ones, maybe some ranged enemies that you can't quite get to at the moment because you're up close fighting other ones. But besides that, let's go ahead and jump into the map. And now we're going to jump into the schematics, and we're going to look at the roles that I have on the Ravager that I will be using. And mine is Brightcore for the extra attack speed. Hitting an enemy empowers Storm Wave to shoot a piercing wave of energy, dealing 245% of weapon damage, stacks up to 7 times, increasing the width of the wave with each stack. All stacks are removed on using Storm Wave or switching weapons. So as soon as you use your heavy attack, you will lose the stacks that you built up from dealing damage with the weapon, which will only take 7 times to actually stack that up to its max. The rolls that I have on mine are 1 crit rating, 2 crit damages, an attack speed, and the element will be energy. Energy for missions, if you're trying to use the Ravager or the Fury in the MSK missions, it is probably the best idea to go physical. Energy is going to be absolutely useless for anything inside the MSK. But we're not doing MSK, we're just doing regular missions. So let's go ahead and jump into the map and go to our mission. So I can show you how many you can be taking out and how well you can survive with the amount of enemies coming at you at once. And I'll be doing this private, so we don't have any boosts from teammates or friends. And also, we will check the modifiers. So you can see slowing pools, frenzy, death burst, metal corrosion. Metal corrosion is not going to be of any use because we will not be building. But slowing pools and frenzy, death burst will show you that little bit of extra damage or difference in the way you're being attacked by the enemies. With like the frenzy, death burst, they're going to be attacking you faster, and they're going to be moving quicker, so they're going to be on you a lot more, which will help show how well that this character can survive with this build and with the sword. And the slowing pools as well, it's going to decrease your mobility and make it harder for you to survive, but with this build it should be no problem whatsoever. So let's go ahead and back out and we will jump on in. And let's go find us some husks.
Don't forget to collect those husks and mist monster samples. Strike hard, strike fast, strike fear into the heart of the horde. Don't forget, the storm is closing in, so watch the map. Bonus objectives are in play.
Alright, let's go check out this grouping up here. And here we go. And just easy peasy, no problem whatsoever. We were able to keep our health up, no problem. And this is just from the basic attacks. This is just super easy with small husks like this, with basic husks. And then let's go and try to find another one. I'll try to take some damage and not attack, just so that I can show you what the heavy attack will look like once we are low on health, and how quickly we can get our health right back up with the amount of enemies that we can take out in one foul swoop. Alright, so I'll take a little bit of damage. So we're low on health. If you're in this situation, you just back up a little bit, use your heavy, health goes back up, and you can go right back to what you were doing. It's just the basic attack. We have another group. We'll try to pull over here. Just get our health right back up. And go right back to basic attacks. Building up our heavy as well while we're doing this. So that the next group that we go into, we can just use our heavy and just clear out as much as we can right away. Let's go see if we can find that grouping. Here we go. Have this giant group coming at us. We'll try to bunch them up all together. We get them chasing, and here we go, and see you later. Just the whole section of them completely gone. And all in turn, just keeping our health up the whole time, as well as having an amazing amount of damage. Like, you are not losing out on damage with this build. It is still built around damage, but the damage is what's helping you also get your health up and stay alive for as long as possible. And now we have our heavy built up again for our next giant grouping that we can hopefully find here pretty soon. Here we go. We'll get them all together. And right now we're sitting at about half health. And we'll get these guys as well. Pull them all together and just use our heavy. There goes a group. Health went back up to full, and we're right back to our basic attack, building up our health while we are killing things. We'll back off a little bit, use our heavy again, health back up. And it's too easy, and it's so much fun. This is definitely my favorite build currently for Ninja at the moment. A lot of people are using Whiteout Fiona, which also it's a lot of fun. But for me personally, I am really enjoying using Swordmaster Ken for both his survivability and the massive amount of damage that you're able to put out, both on your basic and on your heavy attack. It's a very good hit and run class, and a lot of fun. the heavy attack on the Ravager is just way too much fun. Okay, let's back off over here real quick. Try to avoid that. Oh, and we get knocked, but that is personal error. So we'll go ahead and jump up and clear these guys out real quick.
Can't keep me down.
And we'll see if we can go ahead and grab another grouping. And with just this is the test with just me personally in a game by myself with no bonuses from teammates. So you having friends or other teammates in a game is just gonna make all of your stats go up that much more, and the survivability is that much better. So for the most part, you're not gonna be running missions by yourself. You'll be in a game with friends or teammates, and you'll see the huge difference without just having yourself in the game and just your boosts from your damage and from your health. We'll do that. Clear these guys out. Back to basic. And no problems whatsoever. Use our secondary heavy attack to be able to morph extremely quick to those ranged attack enemies. Let's do a little bit of a test inside of a storm. So now we're going to be consistently taking damage from being in the storm. But while we're doing that, as long as we're killing things, we're able to stay alive. As long as you have enemies close and you're able to knock them out, you should have no problem whatsoever, even staying alive in a storm. We got them all grouped up. Wipe them all out. Health is back up. We get in a situation, we go ahead and double jump out. Clear them out, health back up. And easy peasy. So thank you guys for coming in and watching. This is my first of 5 videos I will be making for a class apiece for each one of the Mythic Storm King weapons. And just my personal favorite classes and the way that I build them. And it's all per game too. It depends on what missions that you're in. So this class setup won't work necessarily for every mission that you do, but for a fun and self-sustainable and moderate to high damage output class, this is a good build, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Just to be able to be in groupings and consistently staying alive. And like I said, whenever you're playing with friends or on a team with other people, random people in groups for missions, it's just going to make all of this that much easier. Your defense will be up higher and your offense will be up higher, and you'll just notice things very easily being destroyed with this weapon and with this class. So thank you guys for coming in and watching, and I hope you guys come and check out the next 4 videos that I will have up in the next couple of days. Take it easy. Thanks for coming in. Bye bye.